Oh, great. We're live. Okay, cool. Hi, everyone. Give us. Don't give me 1 second. Da. Oh, there it is. Sorry, we were supposed to go live on the YouTube. We were just trying something new. Okay, not new. Like in additional. You're. I don't think streaming on YouTube is that different. I just keep yapping. So, we're trying to get some folks over who are waiting for us. I wanted to meet all the YouTube fam. I've never been there yet, but hey, CBR, Spider, how are we doing? I'm sure we all have some lofty opinions we'd like to share this evening, this afternoon. Hope everyone's doing. Why not both? Yeah, we were trying to push out to both. That's why we're 11 minutes late, but there were some like tech issues that we couldn't figure out. Fire Captain Dale, how you doing? Becca, hi. How are you? How's everyone? How did everyone enjoy the races this weekend? Overall, I think we saw some pretty good racing. The tires were great. I thought trucks was awesome. Connor Hall had a good debut. I, you know, I think overall pretty good like NASCAR weekend. Everything else in the middle kind of ruined that from that. What's up, Zab from YouTube? Thank you so much for stopping by in. Stop. Why did I just stop in by in? I want to say thank you for stopping by and thank you for coming in, and I said both. The ending never happened. Trust. Love the tire option. Very positive change. Agreed. Blue says exciting race. Domestic aside. I love drama. I love messes, but taking this way too seriously because I went to bed fuming on Sunday. Look, I hey Nash Chevy. I I was upset at the ending. I was like, this we can talk about this in a second. Well, we'll get more into it as we get into the Cup Series part of our stream. Right? Wasn't happy with the ending. And then the words were said during the media panels, and I got even more upset because the audacity. Ugh. Hello, all. What's up, baritone? Pitchforks on your left, torches on the right. I hate Austin Dillon shirt straight ahead, or you love him. I think that's the whole. I think that's exactly what's going on in social media. Is it I hate Austin Dillon shirt straight ahead, and I hate Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano on the right? Is that what's going on? Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot to discuss, and we're still waiting for those penalties. Nash Chevy says, "Yep, but I'm positive that two Hendrick drivers are Larson and Elliott got a top 10. Carson Hocevar did really well. Daniel Suarez did really well. And I like to think their strategies and their tire strategies there. HCat says, all I'm saying is if you see red and can't make a clear decision. What's up, Ray? Sorry, I keep turning around because I keep trying to like grab a Red Bull because I realized I need a little bit more oomph in my step. But what if it was Chase instead of Joey? What would they do? What would the Mo do? Do you mean Mo or Mob? The Mob, got it. I think, yeah. I mean, believe it or not, everyone, there are Joey Logano fans that are not happy. And there are quite a few Denny Hamlin fans that are not happy. But yeah, there's also people who do dislike them. That is correct. So yeah, what if it was like Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott? Agreed. That would be if it was literally anybody else. What if it was Stenhouse and Priest as opposed to causing the yellow? They were the ones that it happened to. Would we have the same reaction? I would have the same initial reaction. There's more vitriol between larger fan bases. Oh, what's up, chap? Same beefing, just more vitriol. Even worse if he dumped Elliott, he'd be public enemy number one. Maybe I don't interact with a lot of Chase Elliott fans on social media. I just don't ever see them talking about him. I don't see him talked about. But that's me, right? Like the algorithm only feeds me what I'm interacting with and what I want to see. Chase Elliott, like I have no like he's fine. So I don't like go look for Chase Elliott stories or notes or his social media. Not that he interacts too much. So you're just fortunate then. Wait, what? Is there my mom's a Hamlin fan, my dad is a Logano fan. Oh, Justin, that must have been a terrifying Sunday night. I've never seen them so upset about NASCAR this long. Oh my gosh. Justin, who are you a fan of? Both, just by default. I am for those of you who are new, I'm a Ryan Blaney fan, but I will admit I'm a little bit newer to NASCAR past 3-4 years. I've always known about it, always kind of followed it, aware, but more seriously this past 3 to 4 years, following a lot more closely. Blue says I had a bet on Hamlin and Logano both to win. This is my fault. Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't bet many monies, but I did have my fantasy team, and that did not do well. First of all, I forgot my featured matchups, which I didn't realize, and I don't know why. I didn't realize they locked before, like during the race. For some reason, I thought I could still do it like right before the race. That didn't work out. That was I take calculated risk, and I'm really bad at math, so that did not work out for me. And following that, yeah, then Martin Truex DNF'd, and then so on and so forth. So it didn't work out too well. I see a lot of people, a bunch of people say this. Lost lots of dollars this weekend. Yeah, I'm sure. We'll see what the betting lines are for Michigan. We go show a segment of around the track with Erica, but yeah, agreed. Wait, wait for it. That was like a 7 out of 10. That wasn't that good of a can crack. Oh God, there goes Pollux. Where'd you get that fridge? I work with Oracle Red Bull Racing, so they gifted it to me. Along with every month, I get 48 cans of Red Bull. Which, if you aren't aware, months usually are 30, 31 days, sometimes 28, depending what month you are. So, what's up, Panda? Chap says, I think a huge issue with that finish is the gambling perspective. Betting services sponsorships are flooding the industry. If they piss off the gambling industry, it's going to have a dramatic financial ramifications. But, all right, if we're talking about betting on motorsports, first of all, if you're talking about betting on any sports, there's so many variables that someone can control. And one of that is the human element of referees, umpires, etc. So it's just part of something you have to understand. It's just part of something that happens. It is what it is. Forget about what happened on the Sunday with NASCAR and Austin Dillon, Logano, Hamlin. Every single endurance race you've ever watched, any 24-hour race, even if it's a multi-class series or just GT3, the shenanigans that ensues, it's a race of attrition. Forget about skills. Skill takes you so far. You got to survive the rest of the time. And if you're betting on that, you're betting on a slew of variables that motorsports is as a series, as a sport. There's no black and white rules for every single thing in motorsports. It's wild. That's how she can yap for hours. No, that's something else. I was gonna make a dark joke, and I was like, no, I'm on the NASCAR Twitch channel, not my own. I drive a NASCAR '09, and Richmond doesn't suit me at all. You're like, I understand why it happened. If we can't have faith in the officiation, the gambling lines won't. If gambling turns its back on us, we'll struggle to recover that loss in revenue. But it's not even officiating; it's just racing. Cars break down all the time. Like, forget about officiating. What if Denny Hamlin's car just the engine just exploded? Who's like that's no one's fault. He didn't do anything. It just is what it is. There's just so many variables in motorsports you cannot control. What if he got yeeted by Ricky Stenhouse for whatever reason? Like, you just don't know. Dover on the NASCAR Heat Games is evil. Gosh, you guys, are you gonna make me play NASCAR Heat? Is that what's happening in this conversation? I feel like it's essentially what I'm saying is motorsports is just a slew of variables in and of itself. So that's acceptable. Intentionally crashing historically hasn't been. That's just something they have to factor in that it could happen. It, it is what it is. I don't know. Gamblers just gonna have to deal with that. I understand what you're saying with the gambling thing, but I also feel like they might actually enjoy not knowing, like betting on that system too. But we'll find out more. Before we keep going into Cup, we gotta do a news from the break because what what first race is back? Am I right? Am I right, chat? Nothing to bring all the NASCAR fan base together as controversy. But luckily, the news from the break wasn't that dramatic. Corey LaJoy out of the number 7 at Spire at the end of the season. I feel like a lot of people said they saw that coming. They saw that potentially happening and occurring. So nothing too big there. New crew chief hired to kind of fix the 7, elevate that entire program. We'll see how Rodney does with that. We did say read that Jordan Bianchi from The Athletic said that Justin Haley is the leading contender for the 7. TBD on that. Not announced yet. Hopefully they do it soon. But supposedly Justin Haley reported guesstimated leading replacement for the 7 there. So I think he earned Spire Motorsports' first Cup Series victory at the Daytona International Speedway in July 2019. So he's been good in Rick Ware racing. Sorry, I can't say Rick Ware very quickly. Rick Ware racing. 2 top 10 finishes, 7 top 20 finishes in the last 11 races. So big if true. That'd be good for Justin. But if it's not Justin, I'm so sorry to give him false hope in this Twitch channel. think it'd be good. Leading contender for the 7. I'm trying to think who else would be a good contender for the 7 who is not already accounted for or is accounted for. I swear, someone said a couple weeks ago that they want to see. Is it Austin Hill? Am I remembering correctly? I have to go back in the chat, but I don't know about Austin's for the 7. Next is Michigan. I'm really hoping for another Hendrick W. Oh, we'll get there. Eric Jones driving back the number 43 multi-year contract with Legacy Motorsport Club. Also announced. I think everyone saw that coming. Ash's Industry Insiders. Look, I was told the 7 pick was already happening, but they won't say who. Okay? That's what I'm. Word on the street. Don't tell anybody. Not that that helps us. Not that it helps me, knowing that they've probably already selected. We've probably already guessed that. So, what else was announced over the break? Ah, yes. For those of you who like baseball, America's favorite pastime. Who's playing again? I'm a Yankees fan. This is Bristol's Braves and the Reds. Oh, the Braves. I got minor beef with the Braves. Also, I think this year I also have minor beef with the Reds. For some reason, I thought they were really bad, and then they played the Yankees, and then it turns out we're actually pretty bad. Comparatively, I was not very happy with it. But there is 162 games, okay? And we decided to throw. That's all I'm saying. 212? Yeah, it's going to be August 2nd, 2025 at Bristol. So they're turning Bristol Motor Speedway into a baseball diamond in the infield. I think we have a little video actually. Let me throw that up on here. Oh, can you hear the video? Is the next question. Oh, yes. Okay, great. Sorry if I blow out your eardrums. It's not me, it's you.
Auto racing and baseball, two sports that have a need for speed. This afternoon,
Yankees losing to the Reds and White Sox back to back, downright shameful. Okay.
From an iconic
We still have
venue
Juan Soto
in the history of auto racing, known for
and
Richard
Aaron Judge.
Petty,
Oh,
Rusty
whoa,
Wallace,
whoa.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. But in a year, fans in this venue will be saying the names of Acuna Jr., Ozzie Albies, Matt Olson, and Ellie De La Cruz. Welcome, everyone, to Bristol Motor Speedway in beautiful Bristol, Tennessee.
We love our sports in this state, and we obviously love NASCAR. So what's about to happen
When's the
is
NHL game happening?
You're going to see a response from people around the country, but people right here in Tennessee, this is the place to be.
I have to find the pictures.
I think it's going to be a great event, and everybody's going to enjoy it.
It's really exciting to look at.
I've never heard of one of those baseball
I'm
players.
certainly excited that the Atlanta Braves are going to be a part of this epic event.
Are you a Braves or Reds fan? Of course, it's presented by Build Submarines. Everything is. All right. Let me find the concept picture, because I have one minor issue with. Bob has it. Bob has everything. Bob knows everything. Let's see if I can find it. Because essentially, if you looked at the mock-ups or the whatever drawings, the concept drawings for this, the outfield, like no one's catching homers. It's I don't think like you can, unless they're gonna yeet it to oblivion, which I highly doubt. Oh, here it is. I got the concept picture. Okay, share my screen again. Okay, here we go. So you hit a homer. Who's gonna catch it? It's just I feel like that's the whole point of going to a baseball game. I guess if you catch the foul balls or whatever this be, you'll get there. There's no way. People can barely make it over to a home run, and there's no one to catch now. Oh, and you know what else? Talk about betting lines and stuff like that. You know how fans sometimes interfere with like the game, like they catch the ball when the outfielder can obviously catch it, like get it for an out. That's not going to happen. Bring back steroids baseball for one event only? Oh no. What are you, a Red Sox fan? Braves car looked like an Impala for a second. Stadium Series at Bristol would go hard. They're going to absolutely juice the balls for this game. Ooh. I think you meant like themselves, but then I realized you said the baseballs, and I was like, okay, this makes sense. Yeah. I was like, wow, I didn't realize NASCAR Twitch chat had strong baseball opinions. I do think if you watch NASCAR, you probably do watch baseball/football/hockey, et cetera, et cetera. Reds and Braves took some friends to Cincinnati for a Braves game years ago. Of course, they were drunk, almost had to fight our way out. Oh no. I wonder what the views are going to be like. Baseball stadiums are, I mean, decently sized, but still pretty close to the field where you can see in the 400 level. I had partial half, how do I say this? I had quarter season tickets to the Nationals. Because look, home games, what, 81 home games, 82 home games? There's no way I was going to 80. So I bought like a 40 ticket package. There's no way I went to 40, but I bought the 40 ticket package. I had seat in a section 408. You'd still see pretty decently. I just don't know how you're going to see anything, especially if you're like back here. But we'll find out. I'm going, by the way. Regardless of where I sit, I will end up there. And I'm going to try to okay, NASCAR, listen to me. This is going to be a weird idea. What if what if you sold like a few standing room tickets only? Like they did at the gosh, what was the where were they just where they were doing a home run derby and they had kids in the in the outfield just catching the balls for fun? Like what if you did that and just had standing room only at the track? Like on the track. Seems like I'm the only Colorado Rockies fan here. 279 miles from Atlanta to Bristol, 305 from Cincy. This is a bold rendering. I think many folks will attend. I think hey, people like baseball. Daytona Supercross style. Yeah, just get some people standing on the track. I don't know. To get some kids. Oh, this is also my controversial baseball opinion. If I'm at a Yankee game and I catch a homer, I am not giving it to any children next to me. Like I will not be guilted. I deserve that ball just as much as they do, okay? I'm just saying. If I'm on like a Charlotte Knights game, yeah, I don't mind. If I'm on any other game where I don't care about the team, absolutely. If it's the New York Yankees and Juan Soto hits his fourth homer game, the the only other Yankee to do that is Lou Gehrig. Okay, I am keeping that ball forever. Yeah, tell him to get taller or something. I refuse to be guilted. That is my controversial opinion. Here, I will give away the baseballs if I am allowed to sit on the track and try to catch them. Come on, how fun would that be? A live stream? I'd strap a GoPro to my head, run around the track trying to catch homers. I think this is gonna work, guys. Better luck next time. I agree. I absolutely agree. Better luck next time. Yeah, maybe in a couple years, kid. Maybe in a couple years. What other news do we have from the break? Daniel Suarez. Okay, so the notes. I understand what Rachel, my producer, was writing. She wrote Daniel Suarez and Tyler Reddick got married, but they didn't get married to each other the way she wrote that, as in Daniel Suarez. Julia Piquet, I believe is her name. If you're familiar with Nelson Piquet, F1 driver, Nelson Piquet Jr., etc. Yes, daughter of the famous Nelson Piquet. And yeah, got married to Daniel Suarez. And then he also then for the honeymoon raced in the Brazil race, which was pretty cool. And he won that race. And then Tyler Reddick also during the break got married as well. So I just like how the note says Daniel Suarez and Tyler Reddick get married. It just yes, very true. And lastly, we have the Hey Dude partnership. Is it this? Yes, it's these shoes. Oh my gosh, that is loud. That is loud for a shoe commercial. These are these men's only shoes or women's as well? But if you're a dude and you wear Hey Dudes, we got now NASCAR shoes. Yes, we have NASCAR Crocs. Now we have Hey Dudes as well. So the Daytona pair looks the best. I agree. Is that? Oh no, I think the NASCAR pair doesn't. This pair looks good. Oh, they're unisex. Oh, thank you, chap. I didn't know that. No, I like this pair the best. Maybe because I like the color black a lot. NASCAR Vans when? NASCAR Converse when? With their iconic shoe. NASCAR Doc Martens when? Oh, Doc Martens would be sick. I'd stomp around those bad boys in Phoenix. I like the white one with all the flags. Okay, the Hendrick one. Oh, Daytona one's not too bad. It's more subtle, which I like. I just don't like I just don't like white shoes on my feet. They look like cruise ships. IMO. Hendrick has Converse already? I didn't know that. Since when? Hendrick does something cool? What? Sun drops are fine. Just a very shade of green. Wait, are those? Yeah. Okay. See, subtle. I like subtle because the rest of me is not subtle. I can't rock white clothes. I just get them too dirty too often. And then finally, our last piece of news: the NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series playoffs started yesterday. So if you're into NASCAR as well as esports or sim racing, you can find out we have a competition through iRacing as well. NASCAR Coca-Cola. You can tune in to the NASCAR Twitch channel. They'll stream that on Tuesdays as well as or the iRacing channel, which will also stream us. So make sure to check that out as well. Now we're gonna get to the truck race, which I don't know if anyone watched here. Comparatively to the news that occurred, I feel like trucks. I mean, Connor Hall had a pretty good debut. Daniel Dye now in the playoffs. No one's talking about it because of the Cup, and I feel like we all just want to get to our Cup Series thing and start yelling at each other. So let's go through our just bear with me through truck highlights, and then we'll get to the Cup Series highlights. All right, everyone. It's the final race of the regular season, by the way, for trucks. They do start their playoffs on August 25th.
5 points to the good. And we are racing at Richmond. Christian Eckes out front. Ty Majeski slips back and loses his spot to Grant Enfinger.
Nice break there by Christian Eckes, and I don't think
I think overall a pretty normal
maybe
race.
Majeski wasn't quite ready for that break, Bill.
Yeah, how about Taylor Gray?
This was a
gonna
nice
make
race
it
back,
3
in
wide
my
here
opinion.
inside. He's got his teammate William Sawalich in the middle.
Restructuring in the offseason brought over
Look, in the
Jimmy
highlights, we're on
Villeneuve,
lap
the crew
23
chief,
already.
And they said, we just restarted. We just built things up from scratch, and it took them about halfway through this regular season, and now they've just been turning more top
Wait,
10s
what's wrong with the booth,
than
Chad?
not. Christian Eckes continues to lead over Ty Majeski from Richmond Raceway.
Nobody got right hooked, so it was a good race. Is it too soon? Never too soon. I mean, we're still waiting for the penalties, so. I do think Jamie Little should be on pit road. She's so good. And she has so many relationships with the teams and drivers and such that she can, like, she gets stories out of them and she can, like, develop them over time. And, like, she just knows her stuff. Surprisingly, no one got right hooked. Yeah, I was in Phoenix during the truck championship. I was there for that race.
Right
Jimmy
front.
gets too much hate. I agree.
Yeah, without it, either broke something or cut down the right front. And I think you're exactly right.
I think he had a flat right front.
Yeah.
Took him into the outside wall. Solid run here a year ago, too. Top 5 for Mills, so this is disappointing.
He was running right there with Connor Hall, and Connor Hall's in the 15th spot right there. So
Connor Hall.
Matt was doing a nice
I was
job.
in Phoenix. Love that city.
Well, he's
I
definitely going to lose
secretly
this
hate the city of
stage,
Phoenix, but that's a whole other
he's
story.
going to pressure
in and of
tires in the
itself.
competition a bit, so there's
I'm
a
so
bright
sorry
side
if you're
to
from
it.
Phoenix.
Green flag back in the air, 7 laps to go in stage number 1.
I should be more accurate. I hate driving in
Look
the
at
city
Grant
of Phoenix.
Enfinger to the inside. There's Connor Zilich in the 7, trying to hang on those older tires.
3 wide around the top goes Eckes for the lead.
4 wide. Love to see it. Kind of wild
Half
seeing
a
the 42
second
now. Carson used to be in
separates
that truck.
these two.
Yeah, which I was going to reference
Green and white
when we
checker
talked
in
about
the
the
air
whole
for Christian Eckes as he
wrecking
picks
people
up
incident.
stage win number 1 tonight. So Christian Eckes chooses the inside.
Nash Chevy watching
Taylor
2012
Gray
NASCAR
on the
season.
outside. Grant Enfinger, Ben Rhodes behind him. Green flag.
Casey,
back
still
in
watch
the air
races from the
for
early
stage
80s? Are
number
you guys
2.
using the NASCAR Classics website?
Another nice jump by Eckes.
What
How
track
about
do
that?
I want
Lap
to see host the championship
115.
2026,
Three-way battle
2027?
for the lead.
For me, Homestead. I'm biased because I'm on the East Coast. East Coast, best
25
coast.
laps to go in stage number 2. Christian Eckes picked up stage 1.
Why can't we just like rotate? That's just me not knowing
Grant Enfinger pick
logistics
up
of
stage
hosting
2.
a
Trucks
championship
get
race.
better as we run, guys.
For me, it's Las Vegas.
Eckes slid really wide
Wait, why
there.
Las Vegas?
Taylor Gray going to try to grab that lead on the inside.
I'm biased
Almost
too
touched,
because
so
I live in
close.
Miami.
Taylor Gray to the point. Grant Enfinger settles in behind. I think he had a little trouble with Garcia in the 13 truck.
Yeah, Jake's trying to stay on the lead lap, too.
As a racer, you know how difficult it is to enter a corner like that and just survive.
Oh,
He
Chaps is
prospered by
Bristol.
doing so.
Matt
Crafton's going
Crafton around. Caution comes out for the third
Started in
time
North
tonight
Florida
as
and
he
in South Florida.
touches the wall right at the
I want to
end.
race from Jacksonville to Key West.
Well, we have the same scenario, Phil.
Yeah.
Looks like he
Is it
just
hot
tried
in
to
Vegas in
dive
November?
the
No.
corner, maybe got loose on entry.
Oh,
Is
yes
that what
and
you
no.
see, Phil?
That's what it looks like.
When
Inside of
F1 raced in
Honeycutt, I
November, we
think.
didn't realize it would actually be cold in the evening.
Joey keeps his truck away from Honeycutt.
Yeah, Honeycutt gave him room. He had room down on the bottom. He probably had been working him for a number of laps.
And it's getting ready to happen right in turn one. Is how slower.
At least 4 wide, you figured, in turn 1.
Big finale, Darlington.
Ty Dillon's
Too
Stuart
tough to take a
Friesen
championship.
right behind him. They fan out 4 wide into turn 1.
Well, 4 wide. We hit that right
Here
on the
comes
head.
Grant Enfinger. Fresh tires, coming through. To the lead he goes. That didn't take long.
I did not understand those 3 trucks staying out. There was absolutely nothing to gain there and a whole lot to lose, and that's what they're doing right now, losing.
I also this has nothing to do with racing.
Wasted no time.
I don't know who
taking
the audio
lead.
mixer is for this broadcast,
Jeski trying to grab that.
but I greatly
And here he
appreciate
comes
you
out of
spot.
turn
if you're hearing
4.
this ever.
Grant Enfinger.
These trucks are
stage
so
2.
loud. And just to get the voices right, but you can
This is
still hear the
Enfinger's
trucks and go
first
back and forth.
stage win since Milwaukee last year. All right, Christian Eckes on the inside. Grant Enfinger on the
I've watched a little
outside
truck, but not
lane.
many.
Briggs
Ooh,
just
Casey,
heard
do you
from
prefer
Kikuchi
watching truck?
right there in the 38 truck with a big push to Grant Enfinger. They're fanning out. Is that the 11 of Corey Heim trying to make it 3 wide?
Ooh, there wasn't quite enough
I think
room.
my problem
but
is
there
I
was a
watched
little bit of
two
contact
mini
between
sports.
he and the
I just
43
like
of Daniel
sports.
Dye.
Man, Daniel took a chance there by squeezing
And,
down on Corey.
so
That
we have trucks, we have
hard, but
Xfinity, we have
both of them
Cup.
got away with it, and Corey wound
I
up
started
with the
trying to
spot.
watch Xfinity more
Oh, they're
regularly.
wrecking behind him. Dean Thompson, the 5 truck goes around.
Oh no.
Collects the 46, Thad Moffitt, the 88 of Matt Crafton
Brad.
involved. Is that
Oh.
Keith McGee?
Thad Moffitt needs to get off the road. He's losing a lot of fluid there. Should have hooked it down pit road.
Right side of your screen, that white truck.
Way
Because
down
Brad didn't
low
see it in
is
time.
Ty Dillon, and he gets hit by
Holy art
Chase
of
Purdy,
race.
and that knocks him into the back of Dean Thompson and around Dean
Yeah, I'm
goes.
surprised like he wasn't breaking
Christian
before he
Eckes,
even got
stage
there.
1 winner.
Trucks are easy to bet on,
inside.
and Vegas seems to pay little attention, much more
Cleanup
predictable than
for
Cup.
The latest caution is complete. Green flag
That's what I've
back in
heard.
the air. Great restart for
I know
the
people
9.
who make
Grant
spreadsheets
Enfinger.
for like
Eckes
NFL and the
slides
MLB
back.
betting that they
Corey
do,
Heim to the
and they
inside,
started
making
recently
it
getting
4
into
wide
motorsports
once
because
again.
it's not as saturated.
Ruth with a really solid season. 8 top 10s. By the way, this is his home track. Grew up in Washington, D.C.
Certified
Not
46
too
woman.
far up the road. And the caution is out. Once again, Lawless
Ooh,
Allen
Brad couldn't see.
with trouble, but he gets it
Someone tweeted.
rolling. There's a replay of the most recent incident. There's
Just kidding, don't do it.
33. Lawless Allen
up,
just
Fluffy?
misses the 88.
Watched Cup my
had
whole
the
life,
back
got into
tires
Xfinity a
fired
tad,
up,
but
trying
haven't
to
done truck yet.
Keep it pointed in the right direction.
never seen
Did a
me and
nice
Fluffy
job
in
of
the same
keeping it
room.
outside
That's
out
all
of
I'm
that
saying.
inside wall.
Christian
Yeah, I'm the
Eckes
same
has
way.
led the most laps tonight.
Minus the Cup the whole
64.
life.
He
Cup
won
more
stage
recently.
1. Grant Enfinger won
And
stage
much
2.
more regularly than all the other series.
Enfinger,
I
your
mean, we see
leader
these
right
drivers
now.
move up, and I want to be able to connect those storylines a lot better, you know?
Goes the outside once again. See him fanning out every single time. That 11 truck.
If he stays on the racetrack, he's not going to make
Remember,
it
this
around
is a
unless he
Connor
makes the hard
Hall's
left-hand turn
debut,
here when he
defending
gets to the
NASCAR
end of the
Advanced
road.
Auto Parts
he make
Weekly
it? Here
Series
comes the
National
leaders.
Champ. And one of the best
They're
late
gonna
model
stay
stock car
green.
racers in the
They'll
country.
stay on the bottom.
Who's never used a cool suit before this race.
And now the caution waves.
They
Seventh
only have
time
good things to say
tonight.
about it, which I'm assuming he would.
Gave him every
Hot
chance
out.
to get that thing.
And he got a P10 for
Fired
his
up, but it didn't
first
happen for
Truck Series
Connor.
debut in this
Just
race.
needed to make it right there to take the left onto pit road, but obviously
The truck race
down
was a
on
certified
power,
banger.
couldn't make it. Here we go once again. Grant Enfinger to the outside. Christian Eckes on the inside. What can they do this time around? Get a little squirrely behind him. That's Lane Riggs.
I live in Elk Grove, and there's so many Kyle Larson fans. They'll call it the Blue Sea.
3-4 wide. Somebody sideways back there.
Wait, Nash Chevy, are you a Kyle Larson fan? Are you part of the Blue Sea?
Fought his way into the top 15 here late.
Good battle right here. Ben Rhodes, the 99 on the inside. His teammate, Ty Majeski, the 98
Cup was
on
hot
the
this weekend. My
outside. That
favorite
is a
number
battle for
one, not my
third.
favorite driver, though. I
Will
feel
be
like
enough as
Xfinity
Corey
has
Heim
a
is going for the lead.
thing going at the moment. Really
To
like
the
driving of
inside. He
SVG,
gets it done.
even if he's not that good at oval.
Enfinger fights back, but nope. Corey Heim will take the lead for the first time tonight.
Hey, SVG's getting better at oval. He's learning quick. I think he makes it to the championship race. As you win the championship race, different story. But I think he'll make it to the final.
William Sawalich on the inside. Grant Enfinger on those fresh tires on the outside.
Great start by Grant. Was able to stay side by side with Sawalich, and he should just drive around him.
Remember Sawalich, the one truck, just right side tires. They have contact. Ty Majeski to the lead.
These guys are fighting these trucks.
Connor Zilich goes around. Who will it be?
Everyone watching this was like, oh man, I wonder if Sunday will be there.
Green flag is in the air.
Big SVG fan from Supercars.
Wants to make something happen. Look at Daniel Dye ducking to the inside back there.
SVG has Earnhardt Senior vibes, which I like, the clean way.
4 wide. And they did. Daniel Dye with a daring move here late in the going.
Oh! Almost a wreck by our leader, Grant Enfinger. He was sideways and he's still sideways.
What a save.
Lane Riggs says, let's go, boys.
Look at the bumping and banging. Christian Eckes makes up a few spots. Ty Majeski
Four
to
wide.
the point. Ty Majeski just dominated this race a year ago. Saw the win in sight only to lose it. He makes his way around this racetrack. Checker flag in the air. Ty Majeski makes it 2 in a row and wins the season finale.
Hell of a job, buddy. Hell of a job. Nice work there, guys. Good recovery.
What are we ranking this race for those who saw it live or watched it later? Out of 10? 10 being the best race you've ever seen in your entire life. 1 being the worst race you've ever seen in your entire life. Check the valve stems. And don't forget about Daniel Dye. Race his way to the playoffs. First Truck Series driver to jump into the playoff field and regular season finale from below the elimination line. So I feel like this was a standard race to come back to. And we're like, okay, NASCAR is back. We had some argy bargy. Good Connor Hall debut. I just love that he's never used a cool suit before, and he's like that's what he was talking about. So what's up, Diver? How you doing? Kamikaze 7 out of 10. Oh, that's ranked pretty highly. I think maybe we should watch last year's truck race live and just absolutely not talk about Cup and delay that conversation for as long as possible. Okay. All right. Before we start, does anyone in here just announce your biases? I just want to know what I'm dealing with. How many people just strongly dislike, before this race, strongly disliked Hamlin and Logano? Because we're gonna need to put those emotions in a box and just put it aside for the next couple minutes, okay? That's just I would just ask you to just shove those down deep inside. And KC me, great. Fluffy says me. I strongly can't stand anyone involved. Okay, that's fair. Okay. If you can't strongly stand anyone involved, that's fine too. I will accept. But we're just recognize you have those biases, and let's get into this replay real quick before we get into the conversation at hand. And I do want to talk about the tires because I think it was great. It was a great showing, and we should have these tires at Phoenix, even though it's a championship contender. I think that'd be not dramatic. I just think it'd be fun.
Getting ready for 400 laps, 300 miles in the cookout. 400. Green flag is in the air.
I have no thoughts about Austin Dillon till this weekend. And now I have very strong thoughts. What's up, Goose? Thank you. Do we have to call them prime option? Yeah, because Michelin calls
tough
them that.
On the outside, but now the
Primary,
11
prime,
starting to get the advantage.
optional, option, blah, blah, blah. I know. I'm with you. We should call them hard and soft. Then people get mad that that's an F1 term, which I just think it's a tire term, not an F1 term.
Toyota's leading the field.
Yeah, I think Hale's got him where he wants him now. The top of the racetrack's really good. Now, Denny Hamlin can't go to the throttle. He's got to turn the wheel a little bit more than he wants to because he's pinched on the bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, we can do it by color,
That's what Bell wanted. He wanted to be able to get to the outside because now it's easier for him to do with his car what he wants to, and it's harder for Denny down there.
Pass complete.
So the options are
Bell
soft,
out in front now
primes
in Richmond.
hard.
And look who's coming up for second.
And Michelin gets a W.
This is for the dog.
For the first time in a long time.
Going to push
Sorry,
him after that big slide with the
they call
51.
it Prime since Amazon's hosting a few races.
Christopher Bell knows that there's a playoff
Prime
point
Energy from
waiting
Logan
for
Paul,
him if
Jake
he's
Paul,
able to win this
whatever Paul
stage.
brother does it.
As he goes into turn 3, looks like he's going to stay behind that 10.
I think the fault
And
of what happened at the end of this race is Christopher Bell's.
will win stage
And I say that
1.
because he spent on
That
pit
is his
road.
10th stage
If he didn't
win
do
in
that,
2024.
he
That's
would've-
most of all drivers.
No.
There's some
But would he
contact
have
made with
caused-
the 20, though. We saw him get into the 43 as he was
I felt the
leaving
whatever Paul brother.
his pit
Yeah, I
box.
don't really-
We're embedded with the 18.
Remember the 20.
Tomato,
Without their
tomato,
crew
you know what
chief,
I'm
that's normally his job.
McDowell also with the option
Right,
tires.
Christopher
Let's
Bell
listen into
wins stage
the
1.
spotter of
Crushed
the
it.
8s as we get ready for the green flag.
If you're keeping track of the tires used, Suarez was the first to put on the option tires.
Nothing off the back by 2 to your lane, bottom lane still covered. Watch that 3 wide front here. By 1 out the back to your lane now, bottom lane still full. Bottom lane's got a stack a little here, no still tight, front to the bottom. By 2 to your lane, bottom still covered. Still inside, half to your lane now, 38.
Man, I have so many things to say. They're just bubbling in my tummy.
Still
I'm
inside,
just
4 is by
holding
2
it all in right now.
99 when you come off 2.
What are your thoughts, McDowell?
Door, 1 off 38.
Well, and how important is
He
just
doesn't know
being
how to throw a
efficient
baseball.
and getting to the front early so that then you can maybe kind of control
And I say
the
that because
pace
he's at a
little
Charlotte
bit
Knights
better.
game
I think
for
that's
NASCAR
probably
night.
what
He
you
threw out
want
the
as
first
Suarez
pitch.
looks
That was
outside
very
Hamlin
surprised.
for the lead. Get to the front
Otherwise,
early.
I have no
Then
thoughts.
maybe you slow down the guys behind you to help you save your
I'm
tires
just always
that much
fascinated
better.
by people who don't know how to throw,
agree,
because I thought
Dylan. To
throwing was
Jeff's
an
point
inherently
about
like human
slacking
thing.
and abusing. Once the 99 gets control of the race, then he can also control the pace. Or the other thought is, they're going to fall off, so just run away. If this thing runs green like the first stage, you want to run away, stretch this gap, because when you come in under green, you want to have the biggest gap. Let's listen into what the team's saying on the night.
So, Jeff, we mentioned that everybody
Jay says the real
noticed
question on
the
Dylan win
alternate tires,
is how do
the
they
option
cheat? He hasn't been
tires,
anything
so
close to
putting
fast
them
all
on
year.
right now
He
for
didn't
the
cheat.
14 of Chase Briscoe, and here's Christopher Bell on pit
He's
road.
been vocal
Dylan.
to the media recently and said new things about pipeline. They're going to increase their performance. And we'll see over the next few weeks.
Much fuel in the car on that
They were talking about it the entire
as they
time.
wanted to, so this is earlier than they wanted to. 4 tires and fuel for the 20.
I think a chap explained it in my Discord really well when we were talking about the same exact thing you were saying, actually. Because he's in the standings so kind of low, 32nd in points, right? He gets to experiment and test with all different kinds of stuff. So he becomes the best test subject.
It's Suarez,
And it
Bell,
worked for him in his
Hamlin,
driving style. He had the
Logano,
good car.
Dylan,
Whatever they were working on the
Reddick,
past couple of weeks that
McDowell,
they were talking
Wallace,
about.
Hocevar,
paid
and
off.
Martin Truex
Even with
Jr.,
the
the
strategy,
top
they were also
10, all
consistent
looking
in
for
pit lane.
stage points here. And the 99 of Suarez looking for his 4th career stage win. This one will be the first since 2022. Daniel Suarez wins stage 2.
Daniel Suarez, baby.
As the green flag comes back out, we're back
Drove through the
underway
field
with the final stage.
to the lead from 16th. Because of that tire strategy.
And again, as soon as technology
All-time funniest
updates,
NASCAR
we'll
light
give you
ever.
who is
Everyone
on the
cheats.
red and who is on the yellow. There you see it.
If everyone
but
cheats, then is anyone cheating?
Suarez,
If they're all cheating?
inside of the top 17, has the option tires on. Those red tires, they're softer, they run faster, but for a shorter distance.
He came on the radio and said, I think I'm blowing up. And then you heard the back end of that where he said, missing, I have no power. They're trying to walk him through gauges right now. And there you see him dive. He's going to come down to pit road.
And here's where my
Truex getting in, I
NASCAR fantasy
believe,
team
plus
started going down the
above
toilet.
the cut line. This is going to
This
shake
is not
things
Martin
up in the
Truex's
playoffs.
fault.
We'll see where he cycles out. But
Just
so
saying.
far, no cards out of this race. If Truex does have a DNF, he would, at this point, finish last.
Well,
They specifically developed the setup on the 3 in the GM simulator. Dylan also utilizes a different line compared to many others he learned from Ryan Newman when he was a teammate and from watching Kevin Harvick during his time.
8 points in the bank. Well, and in Truex's last season, I think he feels confident about making the playoffs. I think he's looking for
Here's
that
where my
victory lane.
depression started.
I think he wants to win.
Now looks as though he's going to clear him as Christopher Bell is on pit road. Dylan.
And team just reminding him, Stevie Reese, the spotter, do not speed. That's what happened on this last stop. They are not going to the reds. They're going to go to another set of primes here. So they have their set of sticker red tires still sitting in the box. If there was a late race yellow, to make sure that tire doesn't get away there at the top.
Chap
of the
said it's
screen.
all built
Left
around
side
Dylan.
going
Hard
on
to
here
say
for
whether
Bell.
Busch would have found
Smooth
its
stop for team
success with it if he had just because he just races the track different.
Oh, he's got a great shot right here. He'll be door to door with you into one.
29 laps to go. Dylan for the lead. And they're door to door as they exit 2.
You see how they both come up there? Just save that in your brain.
Rolls through 3 and 4 well again.
Side by side
And
together
can
like
he
that.
clear him? He does. Austin Dillon's out in front of Richmond.
Watch
Under
close at
2
the end.
laps
Dillon
to
didn't
go.
move an inch with Hamlin.
Whoa!
The SMT
And
data
the
doesn't
clutch
care
is
about your
gonna come
feelings.
out right there with under 2 laps remaining. It happened right in front of him.
Also, how does no one talk about this? How did these two do this? I mean, I think, how did we get here? Was this like a Ricky Stenhouse thing, right? Stenhouse dumps Priest for trying to we just completely didn't talk about this. We're like, oh, it happens with those two all the time.
They've got a set of the option tires.
As long as you're not watching.
Priest and the 41 involved. Take a look at what happens.
The 47 clearly the inside of the 41. The 41 comes down like the 47's not there. Contact between the two. Well, the 47, though, didn't really go all the way to the bottom.
I do love a box stop scar.
Sure, exactly.
I remember
They
collecting
ran
those
out
as
of
a
real
child.
estate.
So it's overtime, presented by Credit One Bank. Back up through the
Now,
gears they
chat,
go, and it
please.
doesn't look like
We don't
a
need
great
your logic
restart
here.
for Dillon.
It's
Logano on
pretty
the
cut and dry.
outside, they fan out. They're 4
As
wide,
opposed to someone
entering
being
turn
like, I
1.
saw it.
Logano with a great restart.
There's a reason I witnessed
Logano
testimonies
clears it down
unreliable
the
in court.
backstretch. Can Dillon fight back?
I'm not here to
He's
start
had
an
a
argument,
great
though. Oh, no,
car
that's exactly why
all
we're here.
weekend long.
It's for all of us to have
One
opinions.
more time around for Logano. The white flag's in the air.
If Dillon gets to him, there will be contact.
Respectful opinions.
He can't do
But
it
yeah,
in
you're
1
more
and
than welcome
2.
to start an argument. Respectfully.
Logano looks back. He has a car link now. Joey Logano through 3 and 4 for the final time. There's the contact. He does get to him. The 11 on the inside. He gets into the wall. Dillon's going to win it at the line.
None of us are. Yeah, I am not interpreting it. A professional interpreter. Oh my god, are we getting the Joey Logano interview here?
Pop the crowd there, buddy. Man, I'm so proud of you, dude.
Ooh, you can hear boos. No. Oh, we don't want to play the Logano interview live on the Twitch stream? Unfortunate. I don't know if I can say, I don't know if I can directly quote Joey Logano, but he was very upset drinking his sponsored Coca-Cola out of his car. And immediately so, as well as Denny Hamlin. Decision has no penalties have come out yet. Still waiting for that. There were a lot of things that just did not. I can't believe you're not talking about the Stenhouse Priest thing. It was ridiculous. They weren't even fighting for position, were they? It was just like, what are we doing here? It's ridiculous. You can compare data lap by lap. Yes, you can. Love how everyone involved was a Coke driver. Someone on Twitter said that's going to be a very awkward, sponsorship, like Christmas card post or something when they get back together again, trying to do promo. NASCAR is boxed in on the Dillon decision. Really difficult to punish him without docking him the win. I mean, yeah. I don't think they're good. I don't think they're going to dock him the win. Someone suggested they give him a race ban and then not give him a waiver. And I was like, I don't think that's. I agree with that. That'd be great. I don't think they're going to do that. As someone who works on NASCAR media, we're all waiting on the decision so we can update our stuff. Hey, Guac. Everyone's waiting. Everyone just. Because now people are going to be mad about multiple things. They're going to be mad, depending what you're a fan of, what they punish him on. The Logano thing, the Hamlin thing, all of it. His crew chief saying, do what you have to do, and then wreck them, etc. Like, that's not something that I think we want to condone, etc., etc. New Coca-Cola ad. Austin Dillon shares a Coke with Joey. I don't think it was his fault because the spotter said at the end when Denny passed him, wreck him. I mean, I don't really know if they should suspend the spotter or. I mean, it becomes like a. They would. Ooh, this is a great question. Would they not also penalize the team in some way? They should punish the crew chief. I think Bob stated the win would stick, but could take playoff berth. He will lose his playoff eligibility, but keep the win. Joey, on the other hand, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a $100K fine. Yeah, yes, they're both. Ooh, I can't say this word on NASCAR Twitch. Man, this is really throw off my groove. They're both the jerks in this situation. Okay, shouldn't have done whatever Austin Dillon did, right? But then Jenny Logano. Here's the next issue. Jenny Logano goes on pit lane, smokes out his tires in front of people. We saw the onboard. It's pretty bad. Don't do that. It's a huge safety thing. There's also the issue of non-essential folks being out on pit lane. Everyone is at fault there. It is an inherent issue. It's a safety issue. I think now NASCAR is now going to have to tighten up security on pit road when cars are coming in and make sure like no one's over the wall that's not essential. No one's over the wall that isn't essential is what I'm trying to say. Essentially, you want a specific type of hard card, badge, etc. Stay E for everyone, Ash. Man, but it's so hard. I'm from New York City. And just let me live. I'm being censored. So it's going to be a security safety thing. Joey Logano definitely should have done that regardless if someone was on, someone wasn't on. This is like a dumb thing to do. Like control your emotions, dude. We're all very upset, especially in front of his pit box in front of a child. And being on. So Joey should 100% get a fine. And I think he will. Not an issue. I think he 100% will get a fine. I think he understands. I also think he understands what he did. So multiple things can be true at once. He's absolutely getting a fine. With Dylan saying, yes, they shouldn't be out in pit lane, but Joey acting like he did. He could clearly see someone was holding a baby. Being a father himself feels very unacceptable. Right. Agreed. So. Casey, I didn't hear the audio though, but if a crew chief would say something like that, I would punish the crew chief as well. Then they should punish the spotter. Wait, why are we punishing the spotter? Was it the spotter? Oh, spotter's the one that said it. Got it on their radio. Agreed. Chap says, folks, please do not walk in front of moving vehicles and expect them to stop. Pedestrians have a right of way, but they also smush really easily when an automobile doesn't yield. But yeah, in the Joey Logano pit road situation, this is a cluster F that I wouldn't want to deal with at all. I'm surprised no one has wanted to talk about the. Can I say this in the NASCAR Twitch channel? I'm gonna whisper it, okay? I think it's okay to end under yellow and just get rid of the green and white checkered flags. That's just my opinion. I feel like when I whisper to you guys hear me better because it's more directed to the microphone. So this is actually an issue. Yeah, that's what we can have game 7 moments and still have rule enforcement. We can have game 7 moments and still have like a gentleman's agreement and still be we gotta report Ash now. I just have a differing opinion that green and white checkers just kind of ruined the whole entire point. Why did we go 400 laps? We had your race on Sunday, you win on Sunday, you sell on Monday. You had my car, my team, my crew chief were perfect, consistent, everything went right. And when the yellow comes out with 2 laps left, it is what it like I did everything correctly. And then it becomes a 2-lap shootout. None of those 400 laps matter anymore. Everything you've done before, well, maybe not completely, right? That's an asterisk, right? Because you could have low fuel tire options, blah, blah, blah. What I'm saying is those 400 laps, essentially, what was the point of all that? Clip posted on Twitter, canceled? They're going to show up at your door with pitchforks? Who's NASCAR going to send to beat me up? Was it Jeff Gordon? You think he'd come over and be like, I disagree with you. You're going to NASCAR, Sing Sing. This is just what you get when you have green and white checkers. And I'm coming also from a sports car world. I think it's also okay to end under a yellow flag. Is it boring? Sure. Does it happen? Yes. And it is what it is. You have to have track position to be a factor in green and white checkered. It matters, but it certainly negates the previous efforts at times. That's what I'm saying. Mess you up wearing the slickest Hendrick vest. Can I get a Hendrick vest? There's also the argument that people are saying the playoff system forced Austin Dillon's hand in a way. I also think you could just have a code of morals, gentlemen's agreement, and decide amongst themselves that crashing 2 cars for a win is stupid. Like, how do you feel good about yourself after you do that? Because you did anything at all cost? Because you didn't win on skill. You won because you decided to play Wreck-'em Ralph. Yeah, Jeff Gordon catches a lot of jokes for his vest. It's a running joke. I mean, he wears a lot of vest. That's fine. It's Austin Dillon, that's why. What's up, Jade? NASCAR waited a long time on the yellow after Joey wrecked in the racing line. Finger should have been on the button. Ooh, how long was the yellow? I feel like it's not that far. Look, I'm a 3-car fan, but an Austin Dillon fan. That's also very interesting to me in NASCAR. Sorry, I started watching F1 in 2006. So I come from an open wheel background. And then sports cars, and then recently, like I said, past couple of years, NASCAR. So being a fan of like a car, to me, is inherently interesting. It's cool. I got no beefs. But I always think it's interesting. He says, look, I'm a fan of the 3-car, not Austin Dillon fan. He only got the 3C because his family of Childress and Earnhardt and Childress had an agreement. Daytona August 24th is going to be a banger. Yeah, people are saying it's going to be like dramatic, but look, it's going to be an extremely calculated response, right? Because you get also penalized for retaliation. So it's going to be very well done. Or, I don't know, do we think Logano and Hamlin are just like, I'm going to race based off merit because this other guy can't? With his inherent lack of skill issue being 32nd in points. The 3 being effectively retired until Austin elevated to trucks, I think rubs people a lot the wrong way. Yeah, I think there's also, I think I mentioned the biases. I think also people go all the way around. As someone also from a form of sports car racing, I yearn for the post-race time penalties for things like this. The children yearn for the mines, and Nano yearns for the post-race penalties. What time will the penalties be announced? No idea. I was hoping they would drop during the show because I feel like that would be a dramatic way. We can keep talking till they do. It's crazy to be Logano Hamlin would get a retaliation fine for premeditated contact, but you could argue Dylan's contact was premeditated as well. You could argue that in some court of law, but that's not how it works in the NASCAR space. Yeah, right. Squeezing someone into a wall and knocking out their toe is just racing. Left hooking them is not. So if they're as good as everyone's saying that they are, et cetera, as they've shown now in the playoffs, it's been intentional foul. Yeah. Again, I think because of this dramatic finish, we've overlooked a lot of things. Tires, great. The softs didn't disintegrate completely, added some strategy to it. I was surprised there's no website, whether it's on the NASCAR website or whomstever, some analytics that just showed everyone's strategy, but I guess there's no way to keep track of that. Because that's a lot of cars, a lot of tires. Someone mentioned in my Discord that IMSA uses RFID chips to tell you about tires and stuff like that. So it'd be very interesting. I would like to know everyone's down the line. Like I know Daniel Suarez was the first to get the option tires, and it worked out for him for quite a bit. And I know Reddick still had a set of options in the pit at the end, and a lot of people were saving their options for the end like this, etc. So right hooks are just dangerous. I agree. Tyler Reddick was on the second. I have a feeling he's going to win Michigan. Go blue. Unless you're a Michigan State fan. NASCAR busy flipping a quarter to figure out this penalty situation. I wonder, how do you think it works? They're definitely not flipping a quarter. The issue at hand is whatever happens now sets a precedent for a lot of the way aggressive drivers race, right? Kyle Busch used to be this way. Everyone's referencing Dale Earnhardt, though I get annoyed because he raced at a different time when this wouldn't have happened. It's a tribunal amongst leadership. Tribunal, Do we think that the teams also not have a say? I don't want to say the influence. I'm not trying to start any rumors here. I'm not. If you're NASCAR lawyers, I'm sorry. I'm sure Big Raj is not happy with a lot of like you know. Oh, I meant fine, not penalty. I think there's going to be monetary fines for sure. Does Austin Dillon get a penalty, chat? Yes or no? But like, what is his penalty? Not being in the playoffs? But then they're going to use this race for promo for the rest of their lives. It's just going to be on every single. You can't do that and be like, no, you're not in the playoffs, bud. But we're going to use this exact incident that you brought a lot of views and controversy and put us on ESPN again for this exact moment. What's up, Chris? Like I said, they're completely boxed in. Really difficult situation before you even had. Oh, add Grandpa in the situation. Yeah. Now being in the playoffs is the only penalty that would affect him. Yeah, that's a really good point, Blue. He just jumped 16 spots in a six-figure payday. He's still going to be in. They're going to change it for next year. What are they going to change? I don't mind. How do I say this? I don't fully mind the playoff format. The win to get in. Maybe we can just do on points. Also, I still don't think he was boxed in. Like he had no choice. Okay, there's so many folks who are there at the cutoff line who have not done this, who are there based off points because they race consistently, they race clean, they've had a good car the entire year, and that's what racing is. And they haven't dumped people to get there. They have to, but if it only monetary, it needs to be the biggest ever. What is the biggest NASCAR fine ever? Does anyone know that? Sorry, I'm in front of a computer. I don't know why I'm asking you. I should be answering questions for you. The biggest NASCAR fine ever. I don't think there's any defending him, to be honest. I also think he should get the Bubba Larson punishment. Wait, what's the Bubba Larson punishment? Biggest fine in NASCAR history is $500,000. Oh, but that's the level 2 transgression was per NASCAR's rulebook, a radiator duct unapproved modification of a single source of a vendor supplied part. Ah, yes, the hood louvers. What a good word. I love louvers. Penalty was a $200,000 fine and a 12 race suspension for that kind of stuff. $75K for fining for Stenhouse. Boring. I'm not surprised they didn't fight. No, I just think the people were upset. I just don't think a fight would have solved anything. What would have that? What would have that? What am I trying to say? What good would that have done? We all know he's out next round, so that's so. What's the worry? I just someone who could have just been there and raced well, and maybe they're the ones who make it to the final four. You know, it's a lot of what ifs. And another argument is, oh, you know what I dislike? The argument that people are saying that Dale Earnhardt would have done the same thing, Dale Earnhardt Sr. And I was like, we don't know. Why are you bringing this up? This is just a theoretical. We don't know him. I don't personally know him. You don't personally know him. Maybe someone does here, but it's just like ridiculous. I bet if he was in the same situation, he would have done it. We'll never know. We don't know. And why are we bringing that up as an argument? To bring all his past records, fine, but to be like he would have done it, I was like, okay, you're just making things up. If I had $1 million, I would have done this. Like, ridiculous. Austin is tiny. Nobody wants to fight him. What? If he's tiny, don't you want to fight him? Because that means you would win. Have good street cred. Nash Chevy's asking, would you bring back Chase format or Winston format? Ooh. Is there a way? Maybe not. This becomes like a Frankenstein, right? If I'm like, what if we somehow incorporated all formats? Combine all of them. Chat for you if you want to bring back the Chase format, the Winston format, or keep the playoff format that we have now, maybe with a couple of tweaks. It doesn't seem fair if Ricky's wreck ends up costing Austin a playoff spot that he had within his graphs. Oh, Tom brings up a good point. The 3 crew and the car were great, right? If it wasn't for the yellow, he was well ahead and would have gotten. But he made NASCAR look like a joke, so some penalty seems required. He beefed his own restart, which is also a skill you have to inherently have as a driver. So yeah, I can complain that green and white checkered's not a big fan of. We should just race or just let the yellow run through a yellow. But scribbles, I just hope both teams have fun. I hope everyone just has a good time. Yeah, well, 2 people didn't have a good time at the end. I think that's the inherent issue. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, ends up costing the playoff spot, right? Because then we can argue green and white checkers are part of the game, are part of the sport. You have to be good at restarts. That just inherently is what it is. Because in Richmond, we didn't have any yellows till then. So if we didn't have any yellows, would have had a bad restart if it was like 50 laps before, 75 laps before, and been in the same position? We won't know. It didn't happen. But I'm just saying, if he was bad at this restart. And what was that stat that I have here? Gosh, we talked about this on, I think, Denny's podcast too. Coming into Richmond, he had a net loss of 87 positions on NDOs, which is 40 positions worse than the next worst driver. So, not the best at restarts. Funny, without that caution, we would have viewed this win in a very different way. Yeah. Blue Dew says the chase and the NASCAR gets the playoff boost that they want. It's more legit. A lot of conversation happening. Guac says penalty announcement coming at 4 p.m. Wait, how do you know? Did they tweet that? Is it tweeted? Can you answer why Joey wasn't penalized in a restart before ahead at the SF line? Can I answer? No. You think they let me? I yap on the internet. You think they tell me any secret information? Absolutely not. Can you answer why Denny did the same thing earlier this year? Logano revved twice at Richmond in 1 year. Okay, here's the thing. I understand. A lot of people are saying, oh, like Joey and Hamlin wreck Logano and Hamlin wreck people all the time. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Why is that our argument? Why are we okay with that? Like, what? Just because they do it. You see what I'm saying? 2 people in front of me are like, oh, I'm going to steal this candy bar. I'm not also going to steal this candy bar. Like, just, what are we talking about? Like, why is this our excuse? Don't we want to hold people to higher standards? I mean, Denny jumped the restart. Did Logano jump or did he roll? I have to see that replay. I'm not being facetious. I'm genuinely asking. I do not know. I think I was less focused on his restart, to be honest. And what a race on Sunday. Yeah, tell me about it, Wild. He rolled, jumped. Rachel, do we have an official? Well, then we also have the Kyle Larson thing in Indy, right? Where he moved up a position, and then NASCAR had like 6 to 8 seconds to decide to re-rack or go through with it. And Blaney was like, what's going on? And it's like, what's happening? Like, we're all confused. He had no choice? He did have a choice. What do you mean he had no choice? And he didn't go before the end of the restart zone, I think. That was what Concrete's saying. Yeah, I like Catcher here. I like Dreamcatcher, regardless of the finish. Super solid performance from 23-11. Carson Hocevar, also. Great job. No one's mentioning the poor Carson Hocevar. P8. My man's got P8. Yeah, aggressive with tire choice in 77. Seen the crew himself. Good performance. Good strategy. I think Chap said in the Discord, punched above its weight, which was pretty good. Via the front runners. And I think that we're also overshadowing the 77, Suarez, the 99, the tires. There's a lot of good stories besides the controversy. He had to win, millions at stake. You know what else he could have done? Just been good all year. Again, there's many people in his in positions that are at the cut line who didn't have to do this to get there because they race clean, they race consistently, good crews, all that stuff was worked out for them. And he decided this is the one race. Oh, bye, Blue. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, and then Denny got credited with second. Oh, sorry, Rachel. Oh, we're going to see it wrapping up. Sorry. Wait, why? What's going on? You got work to do? Please. What? You got a job over there, Rachel, besides yapping with us in the Twitch? You don't want to hang out with us forever? Of course I do. Chris Buescher is in the same position. Race Larson clean at Kansas. He did. I don't know if I can actually. My guy's on the cut line. I want him to wreck everyone. Boo. Just be the better driver. This is my thing. Like, if you. I get it. Sports is inherently for entertainment. But I also would like us to race well. You want the car to be good, you want your crew to be good, you want the driver to be good, and all of it comes together should be good racing. Theoretically. I want them to race because it's motorsports. I don't want them to race because we're the Savannah Bananas of motorsports. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we like? Put on a show, but also race well because that's inherently a show of itself. If we're side by side, if we're taking different lines, getting ahead, doing all this stuff, and doing great. All right, let's get into the. We gotta get to the Michigan preview. So we're getting kicked out. We're overstaying our welcome here on Twitch. Let's go through Erica's betting segment from around the track so you guys know what to look forward to for this weekend. Do. Make sure I have everything on.
Let's now welcome in our resident sports betting analyst, Erica, to get the best bets of the weekend.
Erica.
But before we dive into Michigan, we got to kind of
Disparaging the
recap
Savannah
our bets
Bananas.
for Richmond.
No,
it was a
they're
wild
great.
race between the tire option and the insane finish. So how did our bets shake out?
It was crazy, Kim. We had one best bet to hit, and that was Bubba Wallace as a top 5 finisher. Now, we got in on that at plus 350. I did see that line move to as high as plus 360, so congrats to you if you waited it out and got the better number. But I have to be fully transparent.
If Bush did it, this would have been fine.
That Denny Hamlin did not end up winning, because if you followed my bonus bets toward the end of the week, you know that he was one of the drivers I was backing to be an outright winner. But I'm just going to sit here and be grateful that Bubba Wallace put some cash in my pocket as a top 5 finisher.
That's right. One.
Does anyone here in the chat bet on
motorsports?
motorsports?
No
Specifically NASCAR?
All right, let's get right into Michigan and look at the top 5 finishers for this weekend and who you're putting your money on.
We got 3 top 5 finishers that I'm looking at. Bubba Wallace, we have Denny Hamlin, and we also have Chris Buescher. So first we're going to go Bubba Wallace.
Didn't Buescher win last
2
year?
weeks in a row, plus
Did I remember that
310.
correctly?
I like him in this spot. Bubba runs really well at Michigan. And I also said last week, and I'm going to say it again.
Oh, you're not
you
allowed
have
to because you're an
keep being
NASCAR employee.
aggressive.
Oh,
Yes,
interesting.
He got into that 16th playoff spot for now, but as we know, without an outright win, he still has his work cut out for him. Bubba Wallace also finished as a runner-up in 2022 here at this track, so I feel pretty confident that he can come out and run very well again and finish as a top 5 at plus 310.
Chris Buescher is always the answer.
And last year, headed into Michigan weekend, the whole garage was saying the number 23 was one of the ones to beat. So we'll see if he has similar success this weekend and a fast race car. You mentioned Denny Hamlin. He's a guy that you like to sprinkle money on whenever you can. Why Michigan for Denny, though?
Well, Michigan, I like his minus 125 odds. I would actually like plus 110 a little bit better in this spot. So you early birds who saw the odds when they
Wait, what was
first
Kyle
dropped
doing the
on
whole race?
Tuesday,
Where did he end up?
probably got in on Denny Hamlin at plus 110, but minus 125 is not bad. Denny finished this race 3rd last year, and then he's coming off that 2nd place finish at Richmond. But I do want to take a step back while we're talking about Richmond, Kim. If you followed Denny's money last week at one book, he was the highest ticket. He had the highest
what did
handle,
Kyle
and
Larson
he
and
was
Chase
one of the
Elliott have to say
drivers that
about
was
this?
the highest liability. So if you are a bettor who likes to fade the public, make sure you keep an eye
No,
out on how the
Truex is
money's
not one
coming
this
on
year.
Denny, because that might inform you on what
Sad.
you want to do with him this week.
All right, you've mentioned 2 Toyota drivers, but we know it has been a Ford-dominant
Ooh.
track the last handful of years. Chris Buescher winning last year, so it looks like you're backing him for a top 5 finish. You are confident about this?
Ford didn't do well.
Okay. This might be a loaded question, but let me just give you my short answer.
I
I'm
love loaded
confident he's
questions.
going to finish in the top 10. I prefer his top 10 odds at minus 160, but the better value is Chris Buescher plus 220 as a top 5 finisher. As we know, he finished this race first last year. And I did mention
Calvin didn't care.
a
He
few
won
weeks
Knoxville
ago on
Nationals the
Around
night
Track
before.
right here on this set.
Yeah, I was
said
just wondering
this
what he
was
was
the time
doing.
of the year last
I
year.
haven't heard about him all
Chris Buescher and
weekend.
his team started getting hot, getting win after win after win. If they can
For some
open
reason,
that
Ford does
playbook
well
and
here.
recreate that magic, we could see him at least finish in the top 10, hopefully top 5 this week at Michigan. And I do want to say, Kim,
Yeah, I wonder.
he's
I wonder
coming off
why.
an 18th place finish last week at Richmond. But let's just consider that to be a precursor, a warm up to him going back to the track where he's the reigning winner.
Okay.
Wait,
all
why
right.
is everyone
So we
saying
have
Hamlin
your
Logano will
top
take
5
will
odds
retaliate
picks. What
in
about
Daytona,
just
but not
winning
Michigan?
team?
Is that too obvious?
Winning team was a little bit difficult for me, but we are going to go Hendrick at plus 280 to be the winning team.
Hendrick.
As you know, Larson won the last 3 races at Michigan that were won by a Chevy driver. If you don't want to throw $10 or $20 here, you can even sprinkle
Chris just uses crew
$5
to
here,
work.
and that would still win you a
Yeah, it's
total of
crazy the
$19.
Bubba's been
So
really
don't bet
close.
the farm
He's
on
lost
Hendrick at
races in
plus
the pits.
280, but do consider putting that on your betting slip for this
Because
week at
Dylan will be
Michigan.
like 38th
I
all day
know
at
that
Michigan.
Team Hendrick and Chevy especially would be happy to see Kyle Larson or any of the Hendrick drivers kind of shake up the Ford dominance we've seen recently at Michigan. Erica, thank you so much for the insight.
Thank you, Erica.
We'll check in with you next week before the wild card that Daytona will certainly be. And don't forget, you can check Erica's social media for bonus bets later in the week.
Thank you, Erica. All right, let me do my NASCAR fantasy. You guys, okay, look, I need your help. I'm not doing too hot on my NASCAR fantasy. Like at all. Like terribly. And this is this inherently my fault? Yeah, probably. All right, let me share see what we got here. Okay. Yeah, I had Joey Logano, Martin Truex Jr., Christopher Bell in my fantasy for Richmond. I don't want to talk about it, okay? Kyle was up at the early hours of Sunday morning, still giving interviews to smaller YouTubers that were there. Yeah, Kyle's pretty he's pretty cool. I like Kyle Larson a lot. He seems chill. And like as in everyone is of equal importance of his time, and I respect that. Take Dylan against Bubba Wallace? No. Okay, we're gonna put in I can only use Denny Hamlin one more time before the playoffs. Okay, we're putting Chris Buescher in. Take out Josh Berry. Can I actually put in Bubba Wallace? Yes. Perfect. Okay. Cool beans. Be wild, pick Martin Truex Jr. Anything here? Okay, great. Oh, Kyle Larson would be a hot pick, but I think I've used all my uses. Yeah, I've used all of Oh, I gotta use Chase Elliott one more time. I mean, that's a pretty safe pick. Barry's gonna do well in Michigan. Dylan can't drive. He's not even close to be an Earnhardt. He drives terribly all year. That's a strug. William Byron. I can't spell. No, I've used all of Willie B's. Bowman isn't a bad shout. He's good along tracks. Busher for sure. So are we happy with this? I feel like I should take out Josh Berry from my garage. Sorry, Josh. I got no beef. Who have I not used at all? Oh, no one's surprised. I feel like Ross would be a solid pick. Oh, I haven't used Ross in a hot second. I don't think I can use Blaney anymore. Okay, sorry. We have Joey Logano, Martin Truex Jr., Alex Bowman, Chris Buescher, Bubba Wallace, and Ross, and then Ross Chastain is in my garage. I don't know. I just watch and see. Yeah, well, luckily NASCAR fantasy is more about the ego in my Discord than than actual cash. Feels like a good weekend to burn a Ty Gibbs usage. Ooh, should I replace him with Joey Logano? Reddick seems to be a consistent pick. That's true. Wait, Rachel, you want me to leave Joey Logano in my fantasy? Okay. I might replace Martin. Reddick does seem like a good pick. Bowman for Gibbs. Ooh, bold. Gibbs. How about Truex? If I'm going to replace Truex, probably Reddick at this point, what everyone's saying. Oh, can I? Oh, I also don't know if I can use Blaney anymore. Blaney. Oh, I have one more usage of Blaney. But I feel like I want to save that. Reddick. I have 4 more usage. Who's good at Michigan? Oh, Ford. Yeah. So are Chevys. Specifically Hendricks or Chevys. How about save Blaney for Daytona? Fair. All right, matchups. I am not taking shots opinion on this. Bubba Wallace. Chase Elliott. Kyle Larson. Ooh. Okay, maybe I'll ask you guys for this one. If we're doing a feature matchup between Truex and Ross Chastain, Martin Truex Jr. has just been through so much this year. And I want to put my faith in him, but is he going to finish the race? Michigan, so Truex, I reckon. All right, and then he's going to DNF, and then suddenly what? In my opinion, Reddick and Larson are the two most talented guys out there. Chastain just doesn't have the juice. Oh, Hey Lamb says Ross. Believe in Martin's engine, Ash. I'm doing it. Ooh, save Blaney for Daytona. Save Hamlet for Daytona. And that's it. That's my fantasy. Week, oh my gosh, 24. Oh, 36. Doesn't actually seem that much left. Like, looking at the numbers doesn't seem like a lot, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of dramas in between. So, what new? Anything else we got to share too? Yes, tomorrow we do have the classics playing. We're trying to bump up our Twitch viewer numbers. So if you feel like watching the NASCAR 1989 Michigan Miller High Life 400, it'll be tomorrow 1 p.m. here on the Twitch channel. Come hang out in the chat, watch the classic, or if you just want to put it in the race background, if you're doing some schoolwork, if you're doing work, you can just do that, put it on there. But we also have the Arca Menard Series Friday at Michigan at 6 p.m. at FS1, the Xfinity Series Saturday at 3:30, and we do have the Cup Series race at 2:30, I believe, as well. So a lot of racing for us this week in Xfinity and Cup and Arca Menards. Do not forget that Truck is not racing. They're starting their playoffs on the 25th. They will not be in Michigan. Go Blue! Sorry, College football starting, and I'm pretty excited. Also, Jim Harbaugh did nothing wrong. Anyway, any hoodles. We'll leave chat with that. A little piece of nugget. Good Game says I ordered a Chase Elliott nylon snap jacket in June. I just checked the status and said it was delivered. It's at the front door. Let's go, Good Games. him Jarbow. I do want I think NASCAR had a really cool 75 jacket that was on the website, but I have so many motorsports jackets that I was like, do I need another one? I have like an Indianapolis one. What else do I have? I have a Red Bull one, like a varsity looking jacket. It's like, do I really need like a NASCAR one? Probably do. Yeah, a Napa one for Chase Elliott. Yeah. But I like the generic series one because I just want everyone to have a good time and race cleanly and race fair. But that's just me. Ash, I wish you joined us at the Brickyard. Maybe next time. Sorry, I wrote down a bunch of notes. It was a fun time. Next time. I got to go to Chicago, and I'll be going to Le Roval, so that'll be fun. Yes is the answer. Always more. Thanks, Chad. If I go into credit card debt buying NASCAR merch, it's all your fault. I'm just... You have to live with that burden for the rest of your life. All right, chat. Be on the lookout for whenever the penalties come. Guac says 4. We don't know. Hopefully sooner rather than later. And then we can all be on Twitter together again, yelling at each other. So we'll be we'll be waiting for that to drop. Don't forget the races this weekend. Thank you for coming in and bringing your own opinions, hanging out with us, talking about NASCAR Twitch. What? Oh, Allmendinger's coming next week. We have him for 30 minutes. If you have questions you want me to ask him, feel free to message or send them in the NASCAR Discord. He's not coming right now. He's coming next week. AJ Allmendinger. Cat dad. New dad of little baby. So, friend to animals and to all on the 21st. If you have any questions, join the NASCAR Discord. Throw them in there, and we'll see if I ask them. We're trying to keep it fun, but informative, exciting. And we have him for 30 minutes on the show. It's going to be fun. No, thank you guys for joining. The stream is really just interacting with you guys, hanging out, yelling random opinions, Larry David style, as the only way I know how to. So thank you so much for hanging out. Tell your friends about AJ Allmendinger coming here on the 21st if you want to hang out with him. Maybe he'll bring his cats. Super excited. And we will see you guys next week. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow here for the Classics Watch Along. Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Muds. Thank you, NASCAR.
Hey, I'm Parker Kligerman, and you're watching the NASCAR Twitch channel for more content. Be sure to subscribe to NASCAR.
I'm Rez. Join Kim Kuhn and myself each and every week. We'll get you ready for the upcoming race weekends from short track, in person, or watching from home.
Coming your way each week is the driver suggestions to help pump up your fantasy line. Travel and phenom drivers to keep your eye on.
Plus, our At Traction segment gives you all fantasy tailgating fun at the track. Be sure to check out Around the Track each and every YouTube channel.
Join Todd Gordon and myself each week and exactly how the race was won. Plus, we'll dive into the data and go in depth on race changes. Catch NASCAR Inside the Race presented by Consumer Cellular on NASCAR's YouTube channel.
Hey guys, I'm Corey the Joy Driver, the number 7 car. Join my buddy. Every week we stack some pennies. Talk about NASCAR Cup Series right out of my windshield.
Those are the best pit crews and pit crew guys from the weekend. All the woes, getting us some technical issues, and we'll also answer all of your hashtag questions.
Have a ton of guests. Sometimes SVG pops by. We got who's going to pop in the Nonsense Garage, but make sure you tune in SiriusXM on Tuesdays, YouTube on Wednesdays, wherever you find your podcast on Wednesdays as well. Come stack pennies with us.